know, you can't see what chords I'm playing, huh? That's because this is a tune that I have a lesson on at TotallyGuitars, part of the Target program, of course. And what we do in this lesson is take a look at a very simple song, but we take a look at it from a slightly different angle, and that is an angle where, for a while, we don't even talk about the chords. We just talk about you using your ears to figure out the chords. So this is an ear training lesson on Buddy Holly's tune, Peggy Sue. Now, Peggy Sue was co-written, so, well, really started off with Jerry Allison and Norm Petty, but they eventually gave Buddy credit for it too. And turned into a whole legacy of things. Later, Buddy did a song called Peggy Sue Got Married, turned into movies in the 70s, and maybe 80s. I think it was an 80s thing now, but way past my time. So, but many of the lessons we put together at TotallyGuitars include things like this, where the goal is to listen to what's going on, and I give you a lot of tips in there as to recognizing progressions, figuring out what key it's in, what chords we're likely to see, and what chords we expect to hear. And if we don't hear those and we hear something unusual, how to find it. Because there is an unusual change in there. At one point it goes from this to this, two chords that are not in the same key. So this lesson is up now, again as part of the Target program, along with a lot of other Buddy Holly lessons. And most of his songs are fairly easy, but in every one of them we kind of take an angle other than just, here's the chords, here's the strum, learn the song. So try to do this with a lot, especially easier songs. We have some complicated ones up there like that too as well. But anyway, the lesson on Peggy Sue is up now, and if you'd like to see it and really work on your ear training and improving lots of other stuff with your guitar playing, come visit us. You can find the chords to this almost any place, although most of them are a little inaccurate because Buddy does some different things in here. Oh, and we do talk about the solo. That's all part of the ear training thing, is figuring out how did Buddy get that sound with those chords and with strumming. The hint is it went into double time strumming, which is a workout for your right hand. But it's up now in the Target program at TotallyGuitars. There you have it. One section to Peggy Sue. In this lesson, we're going to take a look at a pretty basic song in some regards. We're going to do most of it, a lot of it, as an ear training lesson. And so the first thing I want you to do is see what you can get from that right there. This is, of course, by Buddy Holly, and a song that was released. Buddy, of course, was only with us for a couple of years, put out a lot of great tunes in the late 50s. And this one was the one that he wrote, changed the title to it later on, but wrote it with his drummer buddy, Jerry Allison, and Norm Petty, their producer. All three of them sort of got credit for it. People were into collecting songwriters' credits because that was where the bucks were back then. Ask Colonel Tom Parker and Elvis. But a lot of Buddy's tunes are pretty basic, and what we're going to do in this song is just talk about figuring out the progression there. What I would like you to try to do first is get a feel for the form. How many measures long was it? When did it go to what chords? How many chords were there? And the relationship between the chords. There's a second section that I will play right now. And then we will take a look at how something that resembles a solo, that was pretty much just strumming the chords. So there you go. There's the challenge. for all of the parts that we're going to talk about in this lesson for Peggy Sue. Figuring out what key it's in, the difference between the first progression and the second progression, and what was happening there with in the solo. Of course, you could see most of what I was doing with the right hand, but that's okay, because that's the tricky part about this is timing. So that's what we'll talk about when we get around to the solo. So anyhow, that's what's coming up. In the next section, I will play a little bit of each one, and maybe actually what I'll probably do is sing through it. We'll take a stab at one time through the whole tune, Peggy Sue.